Hello, everyone. Today I'm here with Jason Griffith, who's here from Kentucky. He's the vice chair of Kentucky. And as you know, they've just passed their law just a few short years ago here. And we're here today to talk about what's changed in Kentucky after the shared parenting law. And Jason's also, right now, he's filming a documentary on it, and he's going to be releasing that here shortly. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So, Jason, thanks so much for joining us today, and welcome to the National Parents Organization.
Well, thanks for having me.
So, Jason, tell me a little bit about how'd you get involved with all this, and of course, then we want to roll in and talk about what's changed in Kentucky after the shared parenting bill.
All right, so actually, how everything, or how I actually got involved with the National Parents Organization. Of course, I was going through the family court just like everybody else has been going through it for years and years and years, and so I just needed a some light shined on me. I'm like, I'm going through all these courts. I'm not getting nothing, nowhere. And so I actually met this young man by the name of Tim Neeson, and he was involved with the Fathers' Rights Movement. And so he invited me to this meeting that eventually I met Matt Hancock and a lot of the other Kentucky heroes, but the main guy was Matt Hale. And so I was talking to Matt Hill, and one thing that he actually told me, and I will never forget this, and I practice it and every day, and I share this. He said, "You can sit there and spend out all this money through these courts and getting nowhere." He said, "Once you learn how to change the culture, you change the game of it." And he was totally right. And actually, I contacted a lot of our senators, our state senators, our state congressmen, really pushing the urgency of this bill to get passed. Governor Bevins at the time, he actually signed the bill with no problem, and the rest was history.
So it sounds like you got involved before the bill was passed. Were you still going through family court at that point, or
I,
did this
I,
did this have a chance to affect your case?
I was still going through it, and I'm still going through it because how it is here, where a lot of the courts, some courts in some counties is like going by the law and basically look, and basically there's a new law, so it doesn't matter if you already had a custody schedule already before or after this bill. It's basically shared parenting. Y'all going to learn to get along. Then there's some courts, just like especially the ones in the bigger cities here, like Lexington, Louisville, Owensboro. You got to fight a little bit more. It's more like, okay, well, this law has passed, so we're going to give shared parenting to the ones that has gotten a divorce or separated from their spouses from the time the bill was signed into future. Now, versus the ones that's already been on a schedule, we're not allowing them to actually get shared parenting. You got to sort of like show us the reason why we should honor shared parenting to you. So it's more of the hurdles, and a lot of people knows the reason why without me saying that. So once you're in the system, you're in the system. So, um, but um, that's about it. But I've had a whole lot of positive feedback of the people who's actually had shared parenting and seen the um, all the statistics of basically less divorces are happening, less domestic violence is happening. So there's been a lot of positive feedback since this law has passed in 2018.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, we know the science is out there, and it's great to see that now that Kentucky has enacted this, we're starting to see some of the statistics there, just proving the science out. But it's interesting that you bring up that it just wasn't a magic ticket for everybody's case. That those that were
Mhm.
settled previous to where the law came out, they're still having some difficulty. And I imagine that the press that this is gathered is really changed people's attitude, because I know nationally, when I talk to people, there's a lot of people out there that just don't know that shared parenting is an option, right? They just think they have to go by
Exactly.
the old model. So now we're
Hmm.
getting a lot more press out there, but so that's really interesting that it wasn't. There's still some struggles in Kentucky, even though there is a full law. So that's really interesting to hear. Is there any ideas on resolving that, or is there a further legislative action that's happening right now in Kentucky?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've actually talked to Matt Hale about it. And I know that me and Matt Hale and a couple of Kentucky heroes is going to actually sit down with a couple of, hopefully with the lawmakers, whatever, and put a little bit more teeth into this law. Because basically it it doesn't state automatically to mandate once this law has passed, whatever. So but it sort of gives the judges like a little bit of loopholes, like to not really basically honor shared parenting. So we're going to put a little bit more teeth into it, because here's the whole game plan of it is, what is the difference between the kids and the parents having shared parenting after the bill was signed um, versus the cases before the bill was signed. Every child has, wants to see their parents equally. Every child wants to be involved within their parents. A lot of parents wants to be involved in their kids. So you're not allowing them to actually have the benefits of being in their child's life 50% of the time, and see more co-parenting happen between the parents. See um, more parents go to their kids' events and school activities. So you're depriving them over a certain agenda, and so therefore we got to have a little bit more teeth to it, and I believe it's going to happen. So
So in Kentucky, you didn't just do this law all at once, right? It was done in stages. You first did temporary orders, and then you went and did
yes.
permanent orders. And
Hmm.
so, what's the ideas around how you're going to add you know, some more to this law that's coming?
That's just the wording. Wording means everything in the laws. So just a little bit more wording to it to make it stand out, that basically that every every case, that if both parents are proven to be fit, should have 50-50 basically off the bat. It's not going to be worded like that, but in terminology. But that's the main goal of it. Basically, having every parent share. It doesn't matter if you've already been on a schedule. However, if you've been trying to get shared parenting, there is no reason why that if you have been proven that you want to be in your child's life, you're not having anything that's going to harm that child. I, I talk to parents all the time, and and just hearing there's cases, and it's like, like even in my case, it's like, why don't you'll think that you will have shared parenting, but it's pulling teeth. And I just, these are some good parents, mother and father. It's affecting both genders. I mean, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it's affecting everybody. It's affecting families.
Yeah, it's always amazing to me how we can get these laws changed, or even in the laws that we propose, and the words matter so much, because the establishment, the lawyers and things like that will try and keep things just as much as they can the same as they've been for years, even though it's clear that the intent is there. So that's always something that's amazed me, is the legal system that's been against really bringing families back together.
Right, because it almost seems like a lot of the courts, and even with attorneys, it's like they feed off of high conflict cases. Like if you have a high conflict parent, especially with a high conflict lawyer, it's like the high conflict agenda is going to win, because it's all about a certain agenda for them. And I hate to say it like that, to put it like that, but I have to be truthful. And there's two agendas. You have one agenda of one way, then you have the other agenda of parents who wants to have a relationship with their child or children, and they're not getting a chance to because of the agenda. So that's the reason why that I felt like that it was very important to because there was a lot of work put in it, even with Matt Hill. Matt Hill basically did the temporary order almost by himself, and basically it was by himself. And basically he got it into Governor Bevan's desk, and he signed off over for a temporary. However, and I will never forget, and even in my court case, my family court judge said, "Oh, this is only temporary; it doesn't matter." And it's like, well, it's it has to matter because you're talking about a parent who's like begging to do 50% or 60% or 80% or 100% of the dealings with his child or children. So but I'm just glad that it was able to get passed. And I mean, I've gained a lot of respect for even our lawmakers. Talked to some of our lawmakers, and it was very important for them to actually uh, to sign on to actually get this passed because it's just like anything else. Like I look at it like this. Like even with families, there's somebody that's an addict in every family. Well, there's a broken family in every family. So a lot of parents or a lot of people can actually relate to custody and parenting, and because this is a very important subject matter because parents matter and children matter.
So tell us a little bit about the film. What's the narrative behind it? What are you hoping to do with it? What are you trying to get people? Are you trying to get more people engaged with this? Are you just trying to tell the story? How did the film come about? And tell us a little bit about the production of it.
Okay, well, actually, what I wanted to do with the film was basically make a blueprint. It's called House Bill 528 Blueprint, and I have so many people who comes to me, this how can we do this, how can we get to our lawmakers, how can we do this, whatever, however. So I wanted to give a blueprint of the origins of the bill, of how it all began from scratch, from all the way up to channels, and all the way up to the signing of the highest government official in our state. So it was I want the message to be clear that if Kentucky could do it, all these other states can do it. And it just takes a little work, a little patience, and a little believing, and a little of showing that look, this is written on paper. This is the uh, the uh, like the proof, I should say, of shared parenting works. Less of domestic, less domestic violence, less uh, divorces are happening. People's willing to work together because at the end of the day, it's all about the child. The best interest of the child is to have both parents in that child or children's life, and it's been proven and proven over and over and over. So I just wanted to show the world that there is hope, and if Kentucky could do it, everybody else could do it. It doesn't matter, even in the United States. I talk to people all over the world. This subject is in the whole world, from Russia to um, England to Austria to Australia. I've talked to these people about shared parenting, about um, parents who wants to be in their kids' life and kids who wants to be in their parents' life equally.
So it's a step by step video almost, and how to do shared parenting is how long is it going to be, and when do you think you're going to be done filming it?
Well, I'm shooting about 45 minutes of the documentary, and basically it's going to show, it's going to interview some of the lawmakers that was a part of this. Even the child support commissioner is going to be interviewed. There's a lot of going back and forth with the Kentucky Heroes. And when I say basically the Kentucky Heroes is the ones that was doing the legwork of helping getting this passed. Um, and there's going to be some couple events showing of like a father and daughter dance, a father and daughter spa day, and a mother and son at the barber shop getting their hair cut. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be really nice to put together.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Did you find was it hard to get people to open up about this and talk about this? I mean, especially at the state level?
No, no, they was ready to rock and roll with it. Again, basically there is a broken family in every family, so they can they actually realize and they want to be a part of basically of the importance of this message of basically shared parenting 50-50.
And tell us about you as a filmmaker. Is this the first time you're making a film, or have you done others before?
Well, this is one of my major very first projects right here. But my wife is basically filmmaker of the family. She has a web series out. She's actually shooting a full length film in Atlanta next month. She's done a documentary, a few shorts. So this is my very first solo project right here. And then the next solo project I'll be doing is actually another documentary talking about like adoption. I think that's very important too. So I got a couple of people that's going to be actually work with me on that project to talk about adoption and their life stories about being adopted and how we can actually be a part of basically helping adopting kids and the beauty of adopting kids.
So that's pretty awesome. Is the idea to get this out on just YouTube, or are you going to get it on some other distribution channels?
We're going to get it on every distribution channel that we can. Every Now I know that my wife has a lot of platforms through other network and connections that we can actually put this on. So we're looking at going to Hulu, Netflix, Prime Video, every last platform I can get it on is going to be on there.
Well, that'd be
This is
amazing.
how this is how much that this project is very important to not just me but to everybody because this affects everybody. So that's why I'm putting in a lot of work into it. This has been a 2-year project. COVID really pushed us back a year and a half with this, almost 2 years. But I'm ready to go ahead and get this actually finished and rolled out.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. If we can get stuff out on some of the major media networks, I mean, so many more people are going to know about this topic and really take an interest to it. I think that's really important to getting our legislatures to get some visibility to them that people are talking about this.
I just, I'm not, I just state that do not give up. It takes patience, and I mean, it's just so amazing when I can actually go to like, okay, our biggest city here in Kentucky is Louisville, and there's billboards everywhere. I know I counted about four. Talk about fathers and fathers' needs within the family. So the message of fathers is getting out. I mean, even Senator Marco Rubio even mentioned about fathers and that we have a crisis on our hands of fatherless and within the homes, whatever. So it's going to take um, a big major step, even on the federal level, to actually recognize that this has been a issue for years and years and years, um, and it's time out. It is really time out. Let's go ahead and see how we can basically have every parent within their kids' lives. It doesn't matter. I mean, because I mean, parents being absent from these kids' lives is really hurting our society. So that's a big issue right now of just parents being absent from their kids' lives.
I'm going to ask you one final question, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. So Jason, do you have any advice for the folks out there that might be going through, maybe some parental alienation, or they're trying to get laws passed in their state? What advice do you have, for the folks that are affected by this, and for the future, and what advice do you normally give people?
Well, the advice I usually give people is basically keep knocking on those doors. I mean, get everything happens with numbers. The more numbers you have, the more territory that you'll be able to cover. Um, our politicians, they they recognize, they know, but just write letters. Just call them, because at the end of the day, they actually work for the American people. And just think of everything as just positive. I understand. Trust me, I read a lot of emails. I talk to a lot of people, and it's like, wow, But I just tell them, just don't give up. Sometimes you may have to take a deep breath and go at it again. And that's the reason why that again that uh, people like us, people like me, who's able and blessed to actually have a voice out here, where I can actually make something and show the world that it can happen. This can happen in your state. This can happen in your life, in your children's life. It's just you got to be patient. And I understand that patience grow thin, but you know, just at the just keep positive.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. And one final question: do you have a title for the film yet, or is it a working title?
It is called House was called HB 528 Blueprint, and what the HB stands for is House Bill. The bill number was 528 in the blueprint, and then again, like I said, the reason why I named it Blueprint, because I wanted to show the origins of how this bill actually came about, of the proper steps, the proper channels, and basically how the that every person can take this and take it to their state senator, their state rep, or or on the federal level, the U.S. senator, U.S. Congressman, and basically demand change. If Kentucky could do it, we could do it. So there's three others. There's two other states besides Kentucky that has shared parenting. We need all 50 states, not just three states.
Yeah, we certainly look forward to having all 50 states having shared parenting. But for now, Kentucky is leading the pack with a few others trailing behind. And we certainly hope that we see it across all 50 states. So we'll let everybody know when your film comes out. We'll certainly have that all over social media, so you can go look at it on Netflix or Hulu, where you can find it. And we wish you the best of luck in finishing this film. And again, thanks for joining us today.
All right, I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you so much.